Be on the CT start of Dust2, the map pick of forZe Pro here. We're seeing very little in terms of the utility basis for the T side. One smoke and flash for Yakindo. He's passed off the P250 raid boss to Jame. Double flash and defuse over on Amanek for the CT defensive setup. Early short plays coming in from Hunter and Nico. The Enduro will take the aggressive force and VP might be able to flank him here. They're coming in from lower tunnels.
It seems that Kicker is ready for this over-aggressive play, but Hunter does win out that duel, so a great start coming through from G2 and the information out of lowers.
Taps forward, Nico takes a bit of damage and loses his teammate to his left-hand side. Goosh to 13 points of health and forced back away. It's a one-for-one trade, however, so Kicker and Hunter are the dead men over on the forZe Pro and G2 camp, respectively. B site is pretty open, as well as G2 are focusing more on that mid control. They think VP want to try a short play. They'd be right to assume so, but VP do have other options.
And with Jackson Amanek taking this approach aggressively out from mid, it does leave the emphasis from the B side. Now they're going to start bringing over numbers, and James taking a bit of a duel out from long. VP, minute on the clock, showing a lot of map presence at lower short and at this long position.
CSGO will lean in, look to the player on the site, tap forward, can't quite get the kill. Nico is extremely low, and Amanek is dead to rights by the heart of James. Nexa backs up Nico here and continues tapping, sees that bomb on his back. Nico gets a couple of headshots in. Finally, no, the triple comes out for him, 1 point of HP. That's a hell of a start for G2.
He just makes it look easy, and that whole emphasis and idea for G2 is we want to try and put pressure on in the early round. We want to aggress Hunter up to top mid, take that opening duel, try and get him back out to safety from that short position, and eventually it just all comes down to Nico getting out to that ramp position, continuing to do damage, finding 3 kills overall. And for VP, they got close to the site, but they didn't get the bomb down, so they're going to just block this round out in round 2.
Face in position and just hold passive on the part of VP, very similar to their pistol strat, just starting to take the mid control now for Kicker. Not quite the same responsive from G2. They haven't pressed onto that short and catwalk position. Out in lower tunnels and upper tunnels, actually, for the likes of Buster and Sanji. Leaving Kicker just to hold out that mid control. Looking like it might be a mid to B split here.
Yeah, you've got to imagine that for G2, this could be an easy farm round. Hunter and Jax with a couple of SMGs up against the Glocks could be on for quite a lot of multi-frags. And that's something that VP have really struggled with, is the multi-frags potential. It's a 0.7 per round, which is the last out of any team in Group B.
Oh, Nico, just accurate as anything. Fantastic kill against Yakindo. Barely even giving him a chance, like just a headshot angle taken in the slightest of pixels, and simple stuff to deal with the first player out of the T-side line. It is an eco round, so G2 can make this a Nico round pretty effectively. 50 seconds for VP to act.
Well, it just comes down to try and waste time, see if you could draw out the util, draw some over peaks and some over extensions. Nico is hearing a lot of these footsteps up from short, but they're not really committing to a fight as of yet.
Making a lot of noise though, so Nico is convinced that they are stacked heavily on that short position. He'll fall back to the A site. He does have an second teammate out towards that car position, the scout, to get involved, but Nico just swings out wide, happy to deal with Kicker, and now to deal with the rest of the T-side presence. Buster tagged, not dealt with by Amanek. Nico can finish off the job, get his triple involved. Quadra out, ace time, nice anti-eco. And Nico is just going ham in the first couple of rounds here. Clearly not happy with the way that things have worked out for him and his team, so deal with VP, get them up to the guns, and try and pound them even further into the dirt.
And you've got to imagine, too, for G2, this is probably pressure off time for them going into this last game. Yeah, I'm sure they'd love a win. They'd love to be able to end their track record here in EPL with at least one victory on the board. But knowing there isn't a chance of you making playoffs, they're probably coming into this saying, okay, let's have a little bit of fun with this. Let's play with freedom, and let's just make sure that we have a good time.
Set out with the M4s again, going to press the issue on the part of Nico. This time into the long control. G2, a lot of attention drawn back here by forZe Pro, and it's part of a wider default here. Player, and once again in the upper tunnels and mid control. Yakindo much further pushed up in this round than any round so far for VP.
Mid is very exploitable. Just the way in which that VP have already managed this mid control and this aggressive move without really making a lot of noise. They didn't put the mid to B smoke down. They haven't had a flash over the top. So if the CT start rotating in between A and over to B, they might not expect Yakindo to be as aggressive as he is.
Just tell the Sanji continues leaning out. Yakindo starting to take even more aggression up for VP. But so far, so little gain on the kill counts. Not even any damage being done to any of the players in server. Smokes up to the outside control. Are they ready for Nexa on long? Oh, clearly they are. Sandy with a swing and a hit. Amanek also caught behind that smoke. 2 kills in for the man. Yekindar will also strike out towards Hunter. Jax gets caught off with a double. And it's all Nico in a 1 versus 5. And as great as he is, as great as he has been to start off this map, this might be a bit too much of a task for him to handle.
Oh, what an excellent round from VP, even leaving James as that lurk in that mid position to try and cut off the rotate from the short position. Now, typically when we see a long take, you normally just see a long corner smoke. That time around, they actually went for the cross. Now, what that does is it siphons off the CTs from both car and from the pit itself. It means that one isolated area to start off allows Sanji to do his own thing. Swing out wide, get a flash over, and even spam through that smoke, realize that Amanek's there. Yekindar gets a couple of kills out from mid, and they're still trying to hunt down onto Nico.
Take him out of play, remove the rifle. The money's still a little bit harsh for G2. $2,500 on the rough estimate of the float. Nico's the highest player at just under 3K, so not a lot of money to work with, and the loss bonus will not be able to bolster them either. So these days, the game does not work out well for the CT side, and Buster will catch Nico off guard with the tiniest of pixel angles. A little bit too close to the little floor wall there. Kill comes in easy for the T side line, and now G2 have to make a decision. Do they force the issue here for round 4?
With 1,900 loss bonus, you don't have a crazy amount of money to work with. And for VP, just so much map control being gained in that round. Deep out mid, out to long, and just action going everywhere. And for G2, they think to themselves, let's play it safe. Let's just buy down a couple of upgraded pistols here or there. We won't get armor out, so there's limited expenses for round 4.
Still plenty of firepower potential in those Deagles. We've seen many a great Deagle play down history, so especially in recent times, G2 not going to get off with the opening kill this time. However, Yekindar gets Jax out towards mid, and incendiaring out the mid doors as well. Few players here on the short presence, which will make their presence heard. Mainly going to miss out and not do quite as much damage as the rest of Util and Yekindar's impact in general, but his teammates are walking out towards long. He's done his job to draw the attention away from them. Disallow any chance for G2 to get this damage on the board.
It all just comes to the buddy system for G2. Play together, know you don't have the best amigos in play, and hope that for VP you can just catch them off guard. You can catch one with a nade out, or try to start re-aggressing and taking back that short control. Amanek's making a bit of a lurk to top mid. He's going to make a solo play.
Yekindar shuts him down in an instant, though. Quick shot, catching him as he crosses. Next now on site. Eagle Hunter off-site. Nico gets tagged up as well. 11 HP for him. Smokes to the cross. I think they used 3 smokes there on VP's part. Either way, they're going to cross in the end. Boosts involved without Hunter to support Nexa getting caught off by Sanji. Nexa does get involved with 1 good kill, but that's about as far as it goes, and Nico is out of there. No chance to win this 1v4, especially on 11 HP. Will be a second to the board of VP as they quickly equalize against G2.
A bit of a losing streak recently to come through for G2 on a couple of maps that are coming into the series. Dust2, 4-map losing streak, and Mirage, 5-map losing streak as well. So looking to try and see if they can tie the positive on that sort of notion. But on this eco, not really finding a massive amount of success. They get the 1 kill onto Sanji. VP, though, they tie up the scoreline.
Very quick and efficient with these AKs as well. Expecting a T side to be the strongest half as well for these two teams, obviously, with Dust2 being the way that it is. G2 with the start, VP with a confident response to the anti-ecos as well, so loss bonus building, G2 saved their money. They should have guns back in for our 5th round of the game. Warp potential is relatively high. Will have to be glass cannon AWP in the case of Nex, and Nico could drop it. And yeah, they will just do right that. Alnek with the big green. Probably should see a drop back for Nico. Yep, M4A1S for him. All the guns out for G2, and an early tactical being called before we get into our first gun round.
Yeah, nice to see the tack being used early on, trying to figure out exactly what they want to try and achieve going into the next follow-up rifle. And for both of these teams, limited success when it comes to actual map picks. For G2, they only won 1 out of 4 map picks that they've had so far across the group stage. And for VP, it's not much better either, only 2 out of 4. So when you think about that, yes, some of the series were 2-0s. That's something you've also got to take into account. But there were some 3-mapper affairs to come through for both these teams. But in terms of the map picks, just not a lot of success coming through for either of the teams.
Success in maps in general. You talk about the 2 map picks. Those are the only 2 maps that each of those teams have won over the course of Pro League so far. Against Sinners in Complexity for G2 and against forZe in Complexity for VP. Smokes in a start. James on the big green, hoping to catch players as they cross out towards the mid doorway. He's expecting that smoke to cover them, but staggered push from G2, giving up little information towards the VP side, trying to attack towards this long control. Sanji might have given up the position, but he thinks better of it and falls back.
Rather than taking long control super early into the round and just fighting chaotically for it, actually have almost a double pump toward that long take. Again, they've left mid so open, so they don't know about Yakinda. At least they'll get a smoke down.
Nico's M4 swinging, sees the shoulder, and wins that fight. Just barely, though. 5 points of health. A counter-nade also one towards that short control. Kicker gets quite a hefty amount of damage for it. Start out for G2 and a further advantage extended.
It's a good read from Nico to have the idea that Yakinda's going to be playing on the edge of the smoke. Does take a lot of damage for the matter. And now for VP, they start leading their way into the upper tunnels. What a read this is for G2. They're playing 3 players on the B side.
I've got 5 HP on Nico, though, so it might not be the strongest B hold, even in spite of the 3 players. Although, that being said, the pistol round did see him on 11 HP and still taking heads left, right, and center. Jump face, Jack's going to get baited. Hunter's going to get a bit closer. AWP might not be ready for this. I say that, and Hunter gives up the ghost. Buster and James pick up those 2 frags, and it's all on Nico now here towards Car. They commit towards him. Shorty only gets away with 1 kill on Sanji with his knife out. Caught simply. 3v3. Deagle up against Buster. Missed shot allows the kill to return, and the man advantage to get brought back by VP.
This has got to be a save call. Amanek is really not interested in the matter. He's still out to that A site, even with the information that B has been compromised. And for G2, there's just too much shoulder peeking going on there. Too many info plays out from the upper tunnels, and they just get punished. That first pick comes in with a great shot from James. Buster then answers up on another swing that comes through, and that whole round came to G2 having a perfect read. They've got 3 players on the B side. You're not expecting that at all. Sanji's with his knife out. You can understand that. You're not, it's almost a bait play, really, with Nico playing out from the car position. But overall, G2, it seemed like in that position, they were going to win that round, and instead, it goes the other way.
All came down to the high HP players, as you mentioned. Too much shoulder baiting, too much aggression. Had they just held their presence, then it probably would have worked out better for them. They can't rely on just Nico with 5 points of health to defend a site. VP will claim the lead away from G2. A bit of a poor round for my money on that B site. And it started off so well with Nico. If only they were able to turn this advantage into the round itself, that probably would have been the much better outcome, obviously.
Hey, you've got to wonder as well what the process was of why they wanted to keep peeking, because for Jax at least, he already got that early information just with that little jiggle, that jump up to get that early information. A lot of flashes out to that long position. Gonna get a double boost up to short for G2.
Got 2 rifles in this one, but the AWP on short to defend against it. They haven't really gone for too much early short control VP. They've wrapped into it eventually. For now, Yakinda's main focus is to put these smokes down in the mid control and try and get an aggressive play out of the mid doors. The AWP of Amanek's going to get naded as a result of his transgressions, aggressive in short. Won't know about that damage just yet, VP, but they've gained a significant advantage and a tag onto Jax through the mid door.
They've been quite impressive with their utility ADR so far. When you look at the stats line, less than 20 across the board on an average round for Virtus Pro. Last in their group again with the utility usage. Out to this short position. Seemed like it could just be a commit with a late lurk out from long from Sanji.
Smokes in, T-side players pressing the issue. Amanek gonna get back out towards Goose, gets caught by Yakinda. So, frag found. Hunter with the P250, he's back up desperately. Deegan and Nico fighting out the side of the long house, and he only goes so far with it. 3 kills untraded. Jack's desperate to get one of his own. And now Nex's best bet is to save a 1v5. What will be a flawless round of VP, not a lick of damage done.
Hey, Yakinda's hasn't been crazy so far on this T side. Hasn't made overly aggressive moves out from short and out from the mid doors. He's been holding some tighter angles. Yeah, he's still exploiting a lot of the map control, but in terms of his entries, he's finding a lot of success. We saw that duel that came out into the AWPer, hugging that Goose angle, holding quite a tight line for Amanek. And for G2 on the Eco, when you think about, yeah, they didn't have a massive amount of investment. They still had 2 rifles in play, and they haven't really managed any damage.
Simple stuff for VP, of course. They were up against a bit of an eco round, really. Again, just those 2 safe weapons, and that was really all the firepower that G2 had. So to see them lose in that kind of a fashion, not too shocking. Rebuy back in for them once again. We'll see the M4s cross the board. Might not be all that great to get Amanek on the AWP unless he wants to go glass cannon with it. What's the decision for him? It probably would be advised to do so, and yeah, he'll go with the M4 instead. Lucky ahead, Kevlar's going to be fine. A lot of utility available here for G2.
VP allowing James to go quite aggro down mid by himself. It could be quite a quick play to come through for the AWP. Hunter's going to hear a couple of those footsteps. Now comes down to the walk.
Molotov's in, nades up, lands a wee bit too deep, actually goes past the Xbox, so James does not take any damage from that. Forces the CTs to fall back and actually concede all of the outside and mid door control. Only 2 players on that B site as well, which with the heavy presence of VP leaning into these tunnels indicates that a B hit might be the best strategy to go for here. That bomb is on its way through mid though. They still have options, they can still rotate.
Jax is hearing a fair bit of the footsteps in the upper tunnels and just deciding to offer up a little bit of a jiggle. Bit of an aggro short take in from G2. They decide to back off, however.
Incendiary is past those smokes. T-side players pressing up. Flashbang for Yakinda's going to get into short position. He might be backed up by a teammate's flash instead. Nexa and Amanek joined by Nico. All 3 players out here. Nexa gets caught first and foremost. Amanek can get one good responsive trade. So 4v4. VP forced to put on the brakes.
A bit dry coming through for Yakinda. Not getting that util in from his teammate, just going for the dry approach. Jane waiting for the pick back straight onto Amanek. And it comes down to another short position. Do they expect Nico to be here? They may have seen a little bit of a shot over the top of that molly. And now the A side's free. This could be a save again.
A great flashbang to force Nico to turn away from. There was no way they could have lost with that particular setup. So it's hunting down the last CT on the A site. Sanji creeping up long, gets Hunter, and Jax falling back to save what has been a great start for G2, but 5 rounds to follow from virtusPro, and they have looked seriously confident here.
And they've looked comfortable, is the way I look at it on this T side. Everyone's finding some immediate impact. They even have an idea that Jax is going to be over to that B side, so dropping this M4 is just going to wreck the economy even further. Jane with the AWP is looking into the upper tunnels, and he's finding some decent connections too.
Not many of them, only 4 kills deep so far here in this map, but you're right about the decent connections. They are pretty impactful, and they are coming in pretty consistently. It's not as frequently as they would really like here for VP. Not like it'll matter for this next round here. Half buy involved for G2. The loss bonus has stacked up to max, but now we're looking at half buy, force buy, half buy, force buy. That pattern of just rifles and pistols coming out from the G2 camp. Siphoned off by the AWP of James. One player looks to enter straight into that B side. Look at how far Buster's made his way out. He's already caught the kill on Jax. Sees that Hunter gets one good trade back. AK picked up against Kicker, but Kicker deals with him. And now they know that that bomb is. G2 have got to rotate. VP have just got to force it into the site. And Buster's still hunting for more.
And they've still got Sanji out of Longhouse, James still looking from top mid, and 2 players on the B side. They are just putting everything into dealing with these rotations.
Shots ringing out. James has at least been spotted, so the 2 pistols will start making their way up. Hopefully they can isolate this kill. Sanji's on the off angle, though, deals with Nico. Should find Amanek as well, and Nexa's best bet is to hold on to that AK. Even then, he's caught out in mid-doors, so he's really not got many ways that he can move here. Second T-side player wraps in. James actually gets the wall bang through the doors themselves, so 6 to the board of virtusPro. 6 on the trot for virtusPro, actually.
Jax yet to get a start with any kind of kills, and for him, this has been a tough event. 10 maps, negative 52k difference, an average of an 0.83 rating. And for someone that, yeah, doesn't put up the most amount of monster stats, is still a very key figure for this G2 side, and in this event, just hasn't quite been the one for him to show up.
E2 back on the guns here, looking at put some pounding and punishment on the board. And they get that 3rd round. They're doing damage to Sanji to start things off. Just that HE past the smoke. At least G2 have gained a slight HP advantage. Back into the defaults we go for VP, and the whole of Dust2 goes quiet.
Yeah, Amanek just trying to see if he can find anything out for that short position. Great flick coming down onto Kicker. That drops the bomb and allows an opening advantage to be gained.
Finally, some of that G2 aggression has worked out well for them. Hunter getting caught, tagged up heavily past the mid doors. That nade finds its way to him, so a 4v4. AWP also being spotted out. Yakinda gets damage on. Sanji can finish off the job that he started, turn it back to a 3 versus 3. So despite G2 start, VP are keeping pace here. Seeing that next player out towards short, that's Nico. 10 frags deep, top fragger in server. It'll extend to 11, drop that bomb a second time, and continue hunting for Sanji, or just back off to the site.
Yeah, slightly impatient for James. Had a lot of time to work with. Buster's actually gone for a walkout to the B side, so he might be able to catch Jax looking back out from mid. It all comes down to the shot that doesn't come through. And for G2, this pretty much seals their third.
Yeah, simple enough to deal with Sanji, you must imagine. A 1v3 has got a line into the A side, though. He'll walk up short. And CT's also rotating from back behind him at short, and it's going to be Nico that takes that face first and foremost. Sanji's got to look back at the right moment. Nah, no reactions to the headshot. Nico with a double. And again, that third round for G2 secured nice and easy. So that's a bit more like the G2 we hope to see from here. VP have a buyback, though. Lots of money gained from those 6 rounds that they gained.
Yeah, money is strong, very tight for the VP side, and this is the way in which they can allow a couple of rounds here or there to go over to the international team and still feel comfortable about matchup. James maybe just thinking to himself that, I need to kind of wait for a teammate to back me up in that duel up against Nico. A lot of dry faces coming through in that last round, and G2 fighting for this long control again, but VP didn't exactly have the best of long spawn, so they're not that interested in flying out Longhouse.
Went up there initially, and they'll continue to hold presence back here, expect the CTs to regress, but they haven't gone that far with it in the last handful of rounds. They went there with the ecos, but not while they have 3 AKs in their current hands. Flashes over into the mid control. Nico is set and repositioning this time. He's been very, very versatile so far on this map up. He's played towards mid, he's played towards short. Tried a little bit out towards long, but this time he gets caught up in that short control as James AWP picks him up at the mid doors and deals with that first AK at the CT side.
That is not an easy angle at all. You can stand into the flames ever so slightly to put that smoke down and actually commit to a quite quick play out from a short position. Another tag coming through. James doing a lot of damage.
Smokes in, they notice to press the towards the corner though. 4 HP, he's barely alive in this one. Another Molotov back, but he somehow escapes the taps from Hunter, the USP. James gonna get out of dodge here and try and reposition to relocate towards long. 2 CTs gonna press the issue towards long house. Sanji gets that first kill, not quite that second, but it's still a man advantage for VP, and James still lurking as the CTs back off. They're gonna save here in this round.
Yeah, VP have just got players everywhere. Even Amanek out to despawn might not expect James to be here. Looking the other way, this should be an easy kill. And the AWP of James, he didn't quite get 3 kills. He didn't do that finishing blow onto Hunter. But when you think about that early crack angle shot through the mid doors onto Nico, follow up onto a tag onto Hunter, get more kills in the matter, that was an excellent round from him.
100%. And the fact he stayed alive in that corner with 4 HP, escaped the ire of the G2 camp. Survival tactics at their finest for him. It's kind of what he's known for. 7 to the board of virtusPro. Looking for 1 more to claim the half. G2 showing signs and moments of brilliance, but nothing really good here on the CT side. Maybe that could change as we move towards the second half, but right now for virtusPro, they are basking in their own glory, knowing that as long as they can get pretty much 1 kill on 1 specific individual to G2, they probably secured a round off the back of that. Nico running away with his stats right now. Everyone else from G2 training behind him. VP are exploiting that.
And even with Nico, he was 8-0 after the second round. So, yeah, he's up to 12 kills, but he's got a little bit quiet in these last few, and so is a lot of members from this G2 side, just not quite posting the numbers. Amanek having an opportunity out from mid, misses the chance.
Flashes forward, James held away. Can re-flash back and keep Amanek at bay. Took a bit of damage from the other T side member up that mid control. Flashes continue to come forward to the CT side. It's just a flash game over that mid-door angle. Nades on from Nico will finally, or at least attempt to put some damage on the ball, but it's sailed right past James and right past Yakinda as well. Both players still set in player, and they're going to try and move towards that A site.
They've baited so much util out from the CT side, not even in a minute, and there's 2 smokes and a flash left. Yakinda trying to make an aggressive play up from short, but he gets caught off by Nico.
Yeah, overextends a bit too far, not ready for the player at Goose, trying to hunt down that AWP desperately. Amanek caught off guard for it, but does maintain his life, and VP falls back on the rotations. Meanwhile, Sanji gets a trade in, finds Amanek, tries to escape the long house, but does fall down to Nexa. Jax follows suit on Buster as well, so Kicker and James, last couple of players remaining. Hunter's holding, footsteps creeping in, a backstab, gets the headshot in. It is all on James. 30 seconds to try and stay alive here. The bomb being dropped by the CT forces. Headshot seen. I think the info was called in by Nico. He'll take his face. James is going to miss it, and Nico secures the 4th for G2.
And that whole round fell apart when Yakinda fell, because for VP, they made a very quick mid-round call of the change of strategy. Move over to those lower tunnels, work Sanji out from the blue bin out long. He had not been detected, got a great kill into Amanek, wasn't quite able to follow up again. And then even out at lowers, they're just getting pushed on. There's a lot of aggression coming through from G2 in the later stages of that round. And for the international squad, they find their fourth.
Rebuy back in, of course, for VP. As you would expect, the money is still pretty strong for them. Nades on from the CT side, however, starting to get to grips with the defaults that VP are playing out. Damage to Yakinda. Sanji also took a little bit. Nades plays perfectly as the CT side take no damage in the early game. Still with a handful of AKs and AWPs, looking to put that to decent effect. The aggression for Amanek on the AWP. Kicker caught first and foremost. Great opener.
Hey, he's got that support of Nexa to just swing on his contact if VP do decide to just explode out from that longhouse. Once that pick comes through, unfortunately for VP, they don't really have players in position for that to happen. No one's in tradable areas. So for them, they lose that opening pick and there's no way of a follow-up.
"55 seconds. Yakinda's gonna try force forward, flashed up. And they're also going to flash back in to allow Nico to continue to peek. He doesn't catch any of the T-side forces. He did see that AWP swing out, does some damage from the VP cap. And again, they're just trying to place the pressure now here towards the mid doors. Yakindar's still going to make his way forward.
3 on B. They've got to deal with Nico just outside of the B tunnels. They've still got Sanji out at long. Oh my goodness.
Well, I was trying to figure out where he was at first, but Nexa does swing back on Sanji. Buster can finally catch a kill out towards that B side. Sees that second player, not aware of Nico. Now back in from the B doors, gets his 15th kill with Nexa wrapping in against Yakinda. So it's all left to Jame. 1v4, AWP in his hands. And it may well be Jame time. 10 seconds left. He's got to save.
Yeah, hold on to the weapon. Big green, couple of players relatively low with the economy. Not everyone for this Virtus Pro side. And even in that one, Sanji just getting a little bit of an unlucky timing out of that longhouse. Not looking over to the close left-hand corner. Allowed Nexa to probably have a bit of a surprise to find out he's right in front of him. And Buster only getting one entry out to that B site and not being able to finish up with any more and open up the site means that for VP, has to be a save call. And for G2, slowly but surely, they're closing the gap with the round difference.
That they are. 2 rounds to go before they equalize against Virtus Pro. What seemed like a simple 8th round for the VP camp may have been a bit more complicated by G2. Open of Amanek now going to focus on this long control as Virtus Pro try and press the issue. They've got Sanji first and foremost with the AK bursting forward, spraying through. Hoping that someone's behind that smoke, but nothing is really going to be seen here. VP much more passive than anything so far here in this map.
I get some flashes out from the long position. Just try and drive G2 away. Make sure that no one's playing out from car. That's what that molly's for on that right-hand side, and that little tight angle being held by Sanji. The G2 are silently approaching the aggressive short angle. No one is really playing out in mid for VP.
AWP of Jame. Gonna pre-fire, hoping there's someone behind those barrels there at the top of mid control, but seeing that one CT player, now G2 know that they're very back passive on this VP side. And with time ticking away, that favors G2. VP are gonna have to act real quick here.
Yeah, getting closer to 40 seconds on the clock. They need to fight this aggressive short take, and all comes down to being able to smoke molly flush over the top.
Oh, wonderfully done. Nexa had no idea how to deal with that. Nico does, though. Utility out. Buster dealt with Kicker. It's going to burn to Amanek's Incendiary, so the counteraction from G2 has traded to a 4 versus 3. VP still looking to split their way into the A site. The long player's going to act pretty soon here. Molotov towards that site, looking above that smoke. Nico spraying manically, but Sanji catches the kill. Yakinda swings on Amanek, and just like that, the advantage turns back to VP, but 12 seconds. Hunter still creeping around here. Is he going to deny the bomb point? He might try to do so, but Sanji deals with a man, and it's all left to Jax here on short to grab the AK and save once again.
Just robotic aim in that round. That was sick for VP. They really ran down the clock. They got some cracking shots, and for Jax, even when that kill presenting itself for Yakinda, he's thinking to himself, 1v2, it's not going to happen. I'm going to hold on to the AK, bring it into the next round. VP when you run the clock as low as they did, it has to come down to those immediate kills. And for Sanji, dealing with the Goose player and then Amanek just falling to a wide swing from Yakinda out from that short position was everything in the round. And then even Sanji again from long deals with Hunter.
Such great efficiency from VP. As you mentioned, lightning fast trades involved in that short control. 8th to the board now of Virtus Pro as they finally get their half win on the board. Watch Nico's particular performance. I honestly thought that was going to be enough right there to tip the round just about in their favor, but it wasn't to be. G2 at least have that one AK. What's the economy looking like? Does get himself a buyback together for round 14. Round 15 might be dicey, and there are no walks out for G2.
Some decent long spawns for VP, so they're actually going to try and challenge this aggression out from G2. They're going to fight for it.
Oh, straight up aggression from Nex against that one frag into his kicker as well. Can't adjust the spray, however. 2 more CTs on the way back in. Amanek finds one. Looks for Sanji as well and can double up. Meanwhile, Yakinda is traded elsewhere. B is indeed open. The bomb's on his way. Yakinda's going to smoke down the B doors or cross right past it. We'll put a smoke down to allow the bomb to get there instead. So VP at the B side, but G2 have the land advantage.
This looks good for VP. 2v3, post-plant can go down on the B side. They are taking a little bit of time to get there. And for G2, they're actually making some big wraparound plays. Notice that James is bringing that AK into the site itself, so if he needs to go to upper tunnels and he wants to go over to the rifle, the chance is there.
Nay, damage done towards him. Incendiary up, re-smoke to the B doors. Nico and Amanek have arrived. Hunter to be the anchor player and try work in from window, it feels like. Seems to be his entry avenue. James not expecting it. Oh, headshot angle is barely evaded. Burst on Yakinda does damage to 4 points of health. That sets up G2 wonderfully. Now it's up to Nico and Amanek to strike. Molotov's in. Yakinda switches back to that AK. Blocks Nico out of the doorway. Nico can't make his way forward. Yakinda's right in the midst of it, and finally a kill comes back. James with one good pick back. Looking for the second shot. Ducked down in for Amanek in a second, but no. He gets his triple, but not enough time to defuse. VP have done it, but just barely.
Oh my goodness, it took them so long to realize that someone was standing in that smoke. Nico just couldn't push any further forward. And then your bells are ringing. Oh, hang on a minute, someone's playing in this smoke. James playing out from the big box position just got away with wasting so much time. These early fights out from long put G2 in a decent position, but VP, as soon as they opened up that B site and they dealt with that over-aggressing CT player Jax, that site was theirs.
What a hold from VP going into the last of the half. It cripples G2's own economy state. That one AK saved. That one M4 as well for Amanek. Rebought down. 2 SMGs and a CZ other than that. It's not looking great for the CT forces. Next up, to try to turn that SMG into aggressive force and does actually catch off Sanji for it. Looks back in at Buster. Are they aware that he's this close? Well, Buster is now, but Nico with a responsive back in with the AK of his own.
It's just chaotic out of this long position, working in and around the utility. And for VP, they say to themselves, we have to give up at some point. It's going to be now.
Yakinda facing, not ready for Jax to be so close. It will make it to a 4v2 now for G2. On the back of Kicker. Got Amanek to his right, Hunter to his left. Amanek falls, first and foremost. Molotov in close. And they can force him away from that corner as the team try and back away, but Nico aggresses in from long, deals with James. Line back in here towards this short control. Kicker to plant for short, I'd imagine. Actually trying to bait in the CT side. Gap in that smoke. Hunter just swings on it anyway and deals with him just to end off the half. Down by 3 for GT, but recovering it as we head to a break. VP hold the lead. It was feeling like it was going to be a near flawless half of Virtus Pro, but 9-6 G2 still hang in there going into their T side is where business can really pick up for the European mixed team. 4 players into the tunnels to start things off in the pistol round.
Yeah, 2 players out for the B side on the defensive, and a 3rd rotate could be quite quickly in from James. G2 are now staking a little bit of a duel up for the short position, so giving away that early little bit of information, but they've got him into B smoke down.
City smoke as well, down from the G2 cam, going to cross very quickly. I think that Bapper in the boost spot has also been cleared away. James seeing 2 players out, must know it must be a B commitment. Nico deals with 1. Buster close towards their window position, gets 1 and 2 fights, dropping that bomb. Hunter with his trade back, looking for another good pick in a 3-on-2 situation. VP holds control, Hunter's on 12 HP, and now no HP. Amanek stands alone.
Yeah, 1v3, and without the bomb control, this is such a difficult ask. None of the other CTs have been goosed up or even tagged for that matter. Amanek can't find any of that. What a hold coming through from Buster close to the window position. That's a ballsy angle to hold.
VP in with their pistol, a 10th on the board of the CT side. Nicely done from Buster's own part. Yes, got traded, but still held off the majority of the G2 forces for long enough. Anybody else wrapping in, wants to force back in for G2, you'd imagine. Actually going in with just the upgrade pistols. Bit more of an eco basis here for the T side. No bomb plant bonus, so can't really go for a fully forced invest, but usually at this stage you see the eco, the full eco for the main rifles back in round 18. VP won't be complaining about that though. It just seems like it might be an easier time for them. They themselves are on the rifles.
Even Yakinda's only going for a USP into round 17, so giving the understanding, well, we only gave them 2 kills. They didn't get a bomb plant. They might upgrade a couple of pistols here or there, but they're not going to be forcing it up, so we can take this as a heavy bonus. VP looking to try and see if they can extend the lead even further. Definitely in a round like this, you don't want to be giving the Deagles a bit of freedom, because for Hunter and Nico, they can hit some heads.
Get to see those Deagles really shine so far in this map, so... Well, there you go. As soon as I say it, Hunter with 1 and 2 on James. Picking up the SMG, not ready for the 3rd player out of elbow. Is it going to be his triple or can someone else strike? Glocks making their way in from long. Sanji's isolated and surrounded. Forced out. Yakinda does come up with support alongside Buster, but now Buster is the only player standing. 1v2. Hunter is low, but it's still a clutch on the retake without a kit.
Oh, they've got to try and get that bomb to the site, and that's why Buster is holding the angle, but the timings, he looks back to the mid-doors, allows that bomb to cross, and now they've got a FAMAS and an M4 to work with, and the bomb that goes down.
At least he has a slight HP advantage above Hunter, but the other player is Nico, M4 in all. G2 could steal this one with 2 Deagles alone. Hunter on for his triple. Buster checking out elbow, got to check to the site. Who's he going to see? Will he catch them off guard first? Will aim punch affect him? Will it try and overwhelm Nico? Looking back towards Goose for Mars. Catches the headshot, looks for Hunter. Quickly deals with a double. And just about has time for the defuse, I want to say. I think it'll be a bit close, but yeah.
He's got it. He's got it.
He's got it. It's fine. Buster's got the 11th round for Virtus Pro. Just barely keeping that together, though. Heavy casualties sustained.
G2 would be very happy with what they were able to achieve in that round. VP just extending ever so slightly in that short position and just getting ripped by Hunter. That's an incredible display of talent. For him to get the 2 Deagle kills like that, recover the bomb, get it over to the side. For G2, there was maybe a moment in that round where you think to yourself, okay, we can actually convert it, and instead Buster wins the 1v2, gets onto the bomb without the kit, and make sure that round doesn't just completely go down the drain.
Double orbs in a VP at a read by Hunter, sees 1 player out of pit. Flashbang's going to keep him protected for the time being. 2 more CTs also out there. Nading towards that blue box corner could do a lot of damage, and indeed it does. Nexter and Jack's pretty low. Kicker burning a tiny amount. Eventually swings up to get that kill. Not that second. Nico with a response.
Jeez, what is going out here at long? There's so many smokes. The bomb is actually going to be peeking in from Nico. Jame on the cross with the AWP is at least going to get away with 1, but rotations for the rest of the teammates are relatively slow up to this A side.
It was Jame leaving the long control that led to Sanji's death, however, so 3v3, it could have been a man advantage. Not quite as coordinated as VP would have liked it to be. It was unclear whether Sanji was peeking or going back down into pit to wait. Ultimately, going to cost them what could have been a major positional and man advantage in this one. They realize it must all be up towards long here. VP are rotating a backstab, so that way Yakinda can bracket them in, make sure they continue to commit towards long, may even go in with a full-on backstab.
They're going to leave Amanek out to this pit position. Run boost over. Oh, they actually miss it. And that gets spotted on the edge of the smoke. The shot doesn't quite come in for Buster.
Amanek gets his kill in against Yakinda. Right timing, right place. Now it's a double AWP retake here for Jame and Buster. Do they even want to go for this? Is this even advised?
If they get the kill quickly onto Amanek, they might want to try and go in for it. But for Amanek, he doesn't need to peek the angle again.
Keep himself held. Buster scoped in. Amanek does give up the ghost on that one, so 2v2. Flash in for James to allow him to also peek, allow Buster to start making some progress up here. Got a look to the site. They've got Jax watching from the back of the short boxes. Nico trying to reposition on short itself. Time's running short on VP here, by the way. They are dead out of time and no kits in. Gonna rotate back, grab those double AWPs and save them once again. It will be a 7th for G2 as they get their first of the T-half.
Yeah, it just came down to playing that a bit safe for VP. Yeah, they could have got in for the retake instead. Hold on to the double AWP. It's a fair bit of investment. You are on double eco status, so we will have to see a force buy around those big greens.
Yeah, $1,500, $1,400, $2,400. Not even drop potential for Jame or Buster here. Tactical timeout for VP as a result to figure out the specifics of this buy. I mean, you're right, it has to be a force up of some kind. No sense in saving here because the guns can't come out in the next. There's not a lot that they can really play with on the CT side.
That's not what VP would have wanted at all. Try and get that early pistol, the conversion. And it does come down to G2 being able to read the economy game. Okay, we lost pistol, but in that second round, we got a bomb plant, we got 4 kills. Buster had the 1v2 clutch. So knowing that there was double AWPs in the last and knowing that they converted that round with ease, they're going to know just how broken this buyback into round 19 can be. And Mac 10 for Amanek. I'd love to see that thing get involved into the action. They can try and bait that in to at least get an opening kill, try to open an early advantage. That's probably where they'll use him.
3 players that will fall so quickly to the Mac 10. James Orp, however, drops Hunter pretty quickly of his own right. Fast plays in from the T side in general. VP trying to deal with it on the Deagles of the crossfire. Yakinda does get dealt with by Amanek, so that Mac 10 does do his damage, but him being tagged, Jax being on 3 points of health. Buster gets involved with a wall bang. The Orps are watching him from window. Amanek trades back on Kicker, so these Orps doing their damage, but not quite turning the advantage itself. Sandy had spotted Amanek. Here's that reload. A re-smoke onto him, however, is going to keep him suppressed.
Now, what's Sanji going to do? Just try to aggress through the smoke itself. The double AWPs are still in play. This is very winnable for VP.
Oh, that spray and Nico a bit too far off to the right, so just Sanji taking damage. He's not killed off just yet. And once again, VP with a double AWP retake. Opting to fall back and save it here, or reposition towards this tunnel position. Sanji will. The other two will get out of here, save those big greens. Good effort from VP. I mean, it was a hell of a start from that first peak, but not really to work out for them. An AK picked up for Sanji at least, so that's an extra bonus for them to work with.
This is just classic VP, just playing it super safe, not willing to go for the risk and to go for that retake and go to try and see if they can come back. I do guess they save a fair bit. You save your double AWPs and you get an AK. Honestly, though, that round should have been won. When you think that they've got the opening pick onto Hunter, they're playing 4 on B, they get a good read that a rush is coming in. Yakinda did as much spam damage with that Deagle through the tunnel smoke as he did. You're expecting that to go your way, and instead, G2, they get lucky in that circumstance.
Now these pistols out from Yakinda and Kicker. Putting the double AWPs on the AKs here. Kind of a bit of a bonus round from VP. Any damage would be great for them. They'll have a buyback in the next regardless. Shot in from Jame. Connects to Nico. Deals with him immediately. Wastes no time. And getting the opening kill.
Yakinda trying to see if he can recover that rifle. He's got a player on the other side, so an easy trade comes back for Hunter. Worked hard for that opening pick, but it gets lost quickly.
Yeah, a bit too hungry for Yakinda's part. If he'd waited, he may have been able to get a leap of think off. Some damage being done. Sanji caught up by the flashbangs. That's just good play there from G2. A 4-on-3 advantage for the T as they continue working in along the likes of VP, of Kicker and Jame. Over on the A defense. Buster trying to do double duty by watching mid and the B site. Might have to deal with Hunter here. If he can get that kill, he might bring it back to evens and force G2 to act towards A. But as he looks towards mid, Hunter exits out of the B site and might even call in the rotation.
He's pretty much won this round because they can just bring that bomb back out from T-Spawn. They've got plenty of time. And for VP, this is just going to be a save from them again. Double orbs, kick it. Might try and see if he can recover a weapon elsewhere on the map. Try and see if they can get that AK back in their hands. But really, for VP, the main objective is make sure those orbs are staying in.
James going to try reposition to get an exit frag, with someone in the VP camp called it off. Kiko will indeed look up towards that long control past that blue box angle where it was a Sanji that fell. Should be an AK there for him to pick up, and indeed those 2 AWPs, that AK will stay in play to bolster the economy even further, and again keep those double AWPs in VP's possession, like you mentioned, their main focus being the big green. So 2 rounds of difference here for G2. Starting to keep it close against Virtus Pro once again, but VP have still held the lead that they've had since, like, what, round 5? It's been a very long time since G2 have really been in an advantageous position. Is this going to be the momentum swing that allows them to take that back? Only time will tell, but they're getting closer.
It does seem that Nico is putting on a great show here on Dust2, and if they can get a little bit more out of some of the other individuals, try and get Hunter more involved, get Amanek on the T side in for a little bit more impact, then they can really start pushing this and closing the gap. VP and Money is going to definitely decide that they're going to buy here in round 21 and give themselves a bit of extra as well for James to invest into another AWP into that next round, give themselves a little bit of extra safety. And G2 on the T side, been impressive so far.
I think a far cry better than what their CT half was looking initially. Still relying heavily on Nico and Amanek at this stage. The AWP has been pretty good for G2. Had a Mac 10 moment as well in the previous couple of rounds. The AWP busted and now takes center stage here on the B site, joined by Akinda. James AWP is set towards short, but it seems to be a tunnel's commitment here from G2.
A straight commitment, a little bit of a fake out from that short position. It's going to draw eyes to that A side, but the AWP is still looking into the upper tunnels.
Great flashes, he just catches vision on Jackson, gets that kill while blind. Sprays through from Akinda, bailed out by Buster's secondary kill. In for the triple as he burns alive, but buys the man advantage for VP as they should be set for the retake.
Buster did absolutely everything he could in that back of the side position. VP, it's going to take him a little while to get into position. Sanji coming in from T-Sport. Does Nico expect this?
Clearly he does. He's got the AWP set at the tunnel's entrance. He's not going to overextend here. Sanji's got to peek right into this AWP's angle. How's he going to bait it? Will he try and do so? Jump face, perhaps? Oh, the flick's wonderful from Nico. So back to a 2v2 we go. Fire from Quicker, trying his best to get something back here. A blind kill past the smoke. They're out of the fuse kits. There is one dropped on a site, but they're still holding angles. Nexa keeps Kicker away, and VP go back to save.
Oh, they just save again and again in these rounds that look like if they just go in for the retake, they're going to be able to find the conversion. What a shot coming through for Nico. Sanji just trying to bait him, just trying to somehow force him off angle, force that shot through, and then swing with it. Not even that's a possibility. G2 getting up to double digits, and for VP, this is frustrating how many saves we're seeing from them.
Not really much of a choice. Had Sanji baited in the AWP to make a mistake, then maybe that could have worked. Maybe that could have been a retake for them, but Nico's just been too good this map. A far cry away from anybody right now in server. 24-11. Try an entry with his AWP out towards long, make it 25. Very likely he could do so here. Sanji's about to be his victim again. Perfectly placed. Great shot, great kill. Another opener for G2.
He's got a good spawn out for the longhouse. Give him the AWP. We know that he can create some good chances, and that's exactly it. Out from long, dealing with Sanji. VP, they're going to start making a slightly aggressive move in from mid and the lower tunnels because they know they need to find an answer back. They know they need to turn this into a 4v4. They could deal with a Hunter that's still coming through from T-Spawn. James got his eyes locked on this pit position.
Now flashed off of it as the AWP continues to peek in. Pass back towards Amanek. Yakinar's going to try and deal with Hunter, but the spray of the AUG far, far too off. Secondary kick back, Kicker flashed in. There's a line up to make happen. Gets that one kill. Nico on 4 points of health. Buster catches him, so they do find those trades back to a 3-on-3.
Now, Hunter's going to be leaning back over to the upper tunnel, so this could be another one of those rotate plays where the B side is completely open. They don't know about the AWP in mid.
does position himself back towards that short control, though. So Buster misses his window to try and cut off the rotations, and the extension out of Hunter goes so deep in the B site, all the way out to the scaffolding. VP still think this is an A hit here, and with Amanek also covering off the rotations at this stage, you must imagine the chances for this retake are extremely slim.
This looks unlosable for G2. With the bomb going down on the B site, with Amanek in top mid, this is a very difficult round for VP to work with. They get a pick, but they've still got to get themselves in a position. They don't even really have util for B.
They don't even realize Hunter's out here. Kicker's going to check it. Great kill on the first. Nexa trades it right back, however, on a 1 versus 1 as Buster gets involved. And now he's the lone man standing. M4 in hand, moving up from window. Nexa keeping his eyes on the B doors. Looking back towards window, sees that headshot and gets the double up to win the equalizer for G2. 11 apiece on Dust2.
Beautifully played by the in-game leader of Nexa. The way that he repositions on the side, looks back up to window, but he gets behind Big Box. And for VP, it just feels like this CT side is crashing to a halt. 5 rounds in a row for G2. They've been tight. They haven't have been the easiest, but they're making themselves get into a position where taking a lead and taking this map actually looks doable.
After the 7-2 start that VP had as well, G2 are putting the hard yards to bring this back, and now going to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Eco, Deagles in from VP. Already Yakinda has fallen on that B-side play. Hunter, first frag of the round. Probably won't be the last either. G2 have got all sorts of control.
And I ask you, Jay, is this the curse of the head-to-head? We talked about it a little bit in the pregame. Yeah, the stats are skewed ever so slightly because the matches are in the past and from quite a while ago. It's still 6-0 in head-to-heads in maps.
That is true. This core of VP have never won against G2 ever. Can they change it here is the big question. Flashes over, Deagle's out, trying to force forward here, and Kicker does catch Jax. Look for Nico spamming away, does not connect to headshot, so it's a 4v3 instead. The T's holding all sorts of controls. Nexa swings out from long, deals with Sanji, and G2, even though they might have lost the bomb for the time being, they should be able to pick it up pretty quickly, and they should be able to gain this lead above VP.
A decent start to the round for Kickit. Hunter even coming out for the mid position, just trying to deal with these last couple of players. Make sure that the VP side don't hold on to anything going into the next. We'll see the rifles coming through. Jam gets away with 1 kill, so there is damage coming through. But when you look at the economy, you think to yourself, this actually looks pretty strong for the T side.
Yeah, damage is going to be pretty irrelevant at this stage unless they get some, like, 5 players to drop or actually win the round itself for VP. Some good Deagle shots did come in, but they've been very few and far between so far here for the CT side. Going in for this forced invest, getting the double ups back out for Jamin Buster. Not being effective to get the rounds together. They've been effective with opening up these rounds, but closing them, different story. Orpin of the Amanek gonna burn. Hoping that someone swings at the CT side. Nobody does, so he just takes that damage. 28 points of health to start.
And Nexa already used his smoke very early on into the round to Xbox, so there was no way that he was going to be able to put that down and allow the AWP to just hold for as long as possible. A fair bit of damage being taken by Amanek. Buster getting flashed off. Does he repeat in? A couple of decent players ready for that play to come out.
Wonderfully done by Jax. Buster combined upon to get dealt with. Kicker, M4 to sneak ahead of the smoke. Will they detect him, or will they even have to? They're going to make their way in from the tunnels. Yakinda overwhelmed by Hunter, so that's with B-site completely opened up again. G2 coming to their own in this second half. They do find Nico at least, but is there any retake potential for Kicker and co?
Not in this round, definitely not. No one is in good retaking positions. There's no util, or there's very minimal util, and they're actually down by 1. They're in a 3v4. G2. This just looks immaculate on their T side. They're playing with a lot of fire. Hunter was able to slow walk, not completely out to the B side, but onto the booster position to deal with the anchor so easily for Yakinda. And for Buster, you can't be repeaking that, can you? You've already given up the information that you're playing on the cross. They flash over the top, he peeks back in, and they're just waiting. They're waiting for that jewel to come to them.
13th up now. G2 standing in the lead above VP, who have not won a round in a fair while now. First couple of the half, and since then it has been all to the international squad. We're at 7 rounds in a row for G2 as a result of that, so when does the cycle break, or does it carry all the way forward into this map pick? Will it beat out VP on their map pick? G2 must imagine they want to do so right here. Again, Amanek's going to burn initially. Sanji re-smokes it as well to ensure that that orb stays out of position. And Jack just swings on James. Does get traded back by Kicker. Nexa can get a responsive together, so it does maintain the advantage for G2.
And they're even putting some util over the top of mid to just hold the rotations at bay, allow them to run out to the A side. They've only got to deal with Sanji.
And he holds on to the spray of the first man. Nico actually steals the kill away from him by dealing with Nexa himself. Nades in from Buster, hoping to catch that player up, but it's him and Yakinda in a 3v2. Yakinda caught back off by Hunter with his late lurk, and it's all on Buster to clutch this. Again, no kill. Again, one flash. Again, down on the man and HP advantage. VP drawing the short straw every single round.
Once they get going, they really get going. Buster gonna have a late attempt at a bit of a clutch. He might be able to deal with Nico to the side, but there's still a short player of Amanek.
One frag found, bombs in the open, does grab that kit. Tries to grab that kit, but I think he's wasted too much time getting it back, so tagged on the crossplay Hunter. G2 are gonna escape, so's Buster. They might actually go hunting him here from the long control. They've got so much money they can do so. Buster's just got to focus on staying alive here. VP 14 to 11. From 6 to 11 up, they were looking fantastic. G2 have just managed to turn the table since that point. They've not let go of that advantage. And this might be their last buy, their last shout into the good night here, virtusPro.
And when you have a look at the rounds that have been converted for G2 over the course of Group B, it's been their CT side that's so much stronger. They have had some weak T sides, and to see this coming through in the second half for Dust2, it's a joy to watch. And even Jax in that last round, what an opener that was. They're even out to the B site already.
Kinder does get a trade involved. The AWP caught back towards mid again. Jax with a swing. Nico to follow suit on Kicker. 4 versus 2. Nico spraying back 8 points of health, looking for the next player out. He knows that he's got to be somewhere past the B doors. But Buster will still get a trade involved, so it might hold some semblance here for VP as they keep G2 held back, but not for much longer.
Out to that short position. They're trying to bait in the aggressive moves. Nex has been tagged up quite heavily, but they're leaving the CTs with their eyes locked on. This is just allowing that short presence to come. The bomb is still a little bit far behind.
Now VP have given up info that both players were here in the mid doors. Both sets of footsteps should be heard by Jax. Chance for the bomb to rotate and just get to a clean and open B bomb site. Gonna commit via long as they try and hunt these players and try and take as much away from VP as possible. If they lose these rifles, there'll be nothing to work with him in round 15, but Buster is still gonna try and win out round 26. Kill found. Smokes back down here. Nexa caught. Next, Buster gets his secondary kill, a triple overall, and Amanek set to clutch it for G2. In the midst of the smoke, the CT cart's walking out here to FAMAS, trying to provide some support. Amanek knows he must be somewhere around here. P250 switch towards 30 seconds. Buster sees him. Amanek gets that trade involved, and I'm on top to get the bomb down.
Just get the bomb, get it in safe. Sanji's got to try and clutch. Amanek, does he go back to the orb or over to the P250?
An all-important round for Sanji. It's all on him. Orb sees and catches before he even gets a chance. 2 kills for Amanek in what was a 1v2. And it's map point for G2.
9 rounds in a row to come from the international squad. And for VP, that was the first time in a while that we actually saw something happening, trying to bring back that 2v4. It was a unique start to the round. Hunter and Nico getting a lot of freedom, going quite aggressive in the upper tunnels. They had an open B site, but the bomb was so far behind. They recover it, they rescue the round, and get themselves up to 15.
VP are running out of time. 4 rounds to get in a row. They've still not won a single round of the CT side since the pistol and the conversion. Running out here for Nico and Hunter. They both get dealt with by Kicker, so that's a positive sign at least for virtusPro. The pressure involved towards that mid position, but G2 have been known to get these advantages right back as soon as VP have taken them. James times his shot well against Nexa, however, denies that longhouse.
Jackson and Amanek just trying to work together. This bomb still making a way out from mid. VP, a fair bit of respect being given to the 2 last T players. Very back passive. No one playing out in mid.
Jax will lead the charge. Amanek there to support him as they start peeking up. Smokes on the short control. They've got a couple of smokes here for the C side of their own right. Yakinda gives up the game. The smoke gets on towards CT. James. Shots missed out mid. Backstab from Kickout comes in way too late. Buster's got a FAMAS trying to defend this B bomb site. G2 from a 4-on-2 situation. If they pull this back, VP will be very miffed about how they lose Dust2 gear. Buster hears footsteps behind him. Jax catches it off. Sees Kickout next up. Damage has been done by that FAMAS. 2 players peeking. Burst fire. Jax wins another fight. 2 kills to his name. And VP felt like they started everything so great in this round. Now James giving up the ghost on where he is. Legs Jax, but Amanek comes in from window. Secures it at 16-11 for G2 as they take VP's